Hello, I am Nino Jacinto. Dive with me and see the amazing marine life of the Philippines. Damselfish welcome us to their underwater world. Fairy basslets stay close to the coral for shelter, as Moorish idols search for food. Some reptiles live in the sea, like this banded sea crate. It is also looking for a meal. Barrel sponges are common in these reefs. This Porites coral is huge, around 10 feet tall by 10 feet wide. Coral is a colony of microscopic animals, so for this coral to become this big, it might already be hundreds of years old. Even at a depth of 70 feet, it is still quite bright. It is surprising how far down the sunlight can reach. We are surrounded by hundreds of fairy basslets. They are busy feeding on the plankton-rich water. Smooth flute-mouth fish join the fray. Farther above us, sleek unicorn fish and red-toothed triggerfish also take part in the plankton feast. Another school of tiny fish arrives to be part of the action. A school of juvenile fusiliers passes right in front of us. There's just so much life in these reefs. A white-eyed moray eel is also on the hunt. It looks like it's considering me as part of its menu, so I gently swim away. We go to a dive spot which has hot bubbles coming out of the sand. A reminder that the Philippines is part of the chain of volcanoes known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. We find a strip of rubber covered with algae. We realize it is a pipefish. This is a tube anemone with dancing shrimp. The reef bottom is also a very busy place. This goatfish searches for food by using two barbels under its mouth. A fire urchin as big as a basketball walks over the reef bottom. I spot the feeding tentacles of a spaghetti worm. While the worm's body is buried in the sand, it spreads out its spaghetti-like feeding tentacles to gather food particles on the ground. This is a relative of the starfish. It is called a feather star. It waves its arms in the water to catch food particles. Sea cucumbers have oral tentacles that sweep the ground looking for food particles. At first glance, this looks like a plant, but it's an animal. It's a kind of sea cucumber which buries its body in the sand and lets its oral tentacles point up. As the oral tentacles catch food, the sea cucumber pulls its tentacles to its mouth, one at a time. Each tentacle is around 10 to 12 inches long. If the sea cucumber feels threatened, it can instantly pull in its feeding arms and disappear into the sand. My dive buddy shows me what seems to be a plain patch of sand, but it's moving. It's a kind of flatfish called a sole. Flatfish spend most of their lives on the ground. They move around mostly by using their fins for crawling instead of for swimming. It is so hard to find its eyes due to its many false eye spots. It even has bits of sand stuck to its body. Its camouflage leaves me in awe. At the end of our dive, my attention is drawn to hand coral, which has polyps that look like hands that are opening and closing. Join me again next time as we look at more amazing marine life of the Philippines.